With a vast library of over 1,200 events from boxing's most notable bouts of all time, Boxing TV melds the past greats with today's promising young stars. Boxing TV is the free go-to destination for everything boxing, including classic bouts, live events, and news and information. Boxing TV is available on Local Now, Distro TV, Sports.tv, Select TV, and www.watchboxing.tv. Follow Abrams Boxing on social media at Abrams Boxing on Twitter, Abrams Boxing on YouTube, and at Marc Abrams Boxing on Instagram. It's Instagram, and I'm going to get that fixed for everyone. We're going to have a new opening maybe next week or the week after. Marc Abrams here, another week of the Abrams Boxing Show. We have just a jam-packed lineup. Got two good guests. We have Alante Green, who will be fighting this Friday night on ShoBox, The New Generation, and former light heavyweight world title challenger Steve Geffrard, who will be fighting in Atlanta live on BXNGTV.com. Let's get right to it. Devin Haney won the undisputed lightweight championship of the world with a 12-round unanimous decision in Melbourne, Australia over George Kambosos Jr. Scores are 116-112 twice and 118-110 for Devin Haney, who's 28-0 now with 15 knockouts. Great performance, virtuoso performance. Haney, who at the last minute got his father into the corner, was allowed in the country of Australia. Great performance, Devin Haney. He's now your undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Tuesday morning in Japan, Naoya Inoue unified the WBC, WBA, and IBF bantamweight titles with an emphatic second-round destruction over future Hall of Famer Nonito Donaire. He hurt Donaire at the end of round one. Round two, which more the same, hurt Donaire, buckled him badly, and went in and finished off Nonito Donaire in round two. Inoue now 23-0 with 20 knockouts. Let's see if he fights Paul Butler now, the WBO champion, to try. It's undisputed season, so maybe Naoya Inoue is the next one. Unbeaten super featherweight Joe Cordina won the IBF 130-pound championship with a devastating second-round stoppage over Kenichi Ogawa. That fight took place Saturday night in Cardiff, Wales, the hometown of Joe Cordina. Cordina now 15-0 with 9 knockouts, becomes a world champion in front of a great crowd in Cardiff. Unified WBC, WBO super bantamweight champion Stephen Coolboy Steph Scooter, whatever you want to call him, but we call him a terrific fighter, as he is now 21-0. As he won a handily unanimous decision over Danny Roman, the former unified champion himself. Scores are 120-108, 120-108, 119-109. That fight headlined a big night on Showtime Championship Boxing from the what's becoming a real hotbed, the Armory in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Also, WBA on that card, WBA super middleweight champion David Morrell stopped Calvin Henderson in 4 rounds to retain his title. Morrell now 7-0 with 6 knockouts. He punished Henderson for, most of the 4 rounds. Morrell's a real problem at 168 pounds. Maybe we'll see a fight with him and David Benavidez or Caleb Plant or one of those big names at 168 pounds, but we will see David Morrell in some big fights. A lot of action going on this week. Starts off Friday in Verona, New York, the big Hall of Fame weekend show live on Showtime, ShoBox, The New Generation. The main event will feature the Olympic gold medal winner Bakhtiar Jalolov take on Jack Mulawai. Mulawai, we saw fight Frank Sanchez a couple years ago on Showtime. That will take place at the Turning Stone Casino in Verona, New York. One of the co-feature bouts will be a battle of heavyweights, where George Arias will take on Alante Green. Green is a fighter that I know a little bit about, and I actually had a little chance to speak to Alante Green this week and to preview his big fight with George Arias, and this is how it went. Now joining me is Alante Green. Green will be taking on George Arias as part of ShoBox, The New Generation, this Friday night from the Turning Stone Casino Resort in Verona, New York, for the big Hall of Fame weekend. Alante, how you doing today?
I'm good. How you?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. So got this big fight national television, ShoBox, Hall of Fame weekend. Got a lot going on this weekend for this big fight. How you doing a few days out?
I'm ready. I'm just ready to get out there and show the world my talent on Showtime.
You had a change of opponent, if I'm not mistaken. You were supposed to fight Elvis Garcia. He's out because of out of the ring circumstances. Now you're fighting George Arias. How did that throw a wrinkle into your training?
No, it didn't really. They're similar opponents. They both, you know what I'm saying, got kind of similar styles. They both are hookers. They both throw a lot of looping punches, so it didn't really change nothing.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm sorry.
I was about to say, we just trained hard for this fight, so it really didn't matter who's on the other side. But yeah, you said tell you about the training. Training we've been going pretty good. Been getting some great sparring, great sparring for this fight. I'm in real great shape. I didn't have to get all the way down to cruiserweight, so didn't have to cut that much weight. So I feel great. Nice and strong.
That's a good segue. You started out as a heavyweight, then you went down to cruiserweight, now back up to heavyweight. What's the thought process about going up and down?
It's cool. This is my normal walk around weight. I normally walk around at like 215, 220. So it was nothing. I just was able to focus on other stuff, and I didn't have to focus on cutting weight. Just focus on boxing and sharpening it up.
Is this weight more preferable to you because, like you said, you don't have to cut the weight?
No, I like fighting at cruiserweight. This was just, a great opportunity to get on Showtime and showcase my talents. I guess they liked it how I finished off Clarkson at this weight, so they wanted to see me at the Bridger weight.
You're managed by John Johnson, who those not in the know, he took a heavyweight to some great heights about 30 years ago. A guy by the name of Buster Douglas. Obviously, he's got a lot of experience. What's it like being, with a manager, and promoter Bobby Hitz, and who's involved, who's been a long time boxing guy as well. What's it like to have a real experienced team in your corner?
Great. They moved me. Also, I got my other promoter, Troy Speakman. But yeah, it feels great. They moving me in the right direction. As you know, I'm sorry. And number 9 in the world right now with the WBC. No, number 9 with the IBF. I believe 15 with the WBC. This fight right here is for the WBC silver, so I feel like they've been moving me in the right direction.
Your last 3 wins, you mentioned the Clarkson win. Before that, second round knockout over undefeated Taylor Durr, and a win over Steve Bouget, who's a real tough fighter from New York. Those are the 3 fights that have really set you up for this opportunity. Talk about, obviously you've stepped up in competition and you've come through with flying colors. Talk about, those last 3 fights.
Yeah, I feel like they just, they keep putting opponents in front of me, and it's been a lot of people who didn't think I was ready, but I've been showing them wrong. So I'm here to keep showing them like I'm here to stay. This is where I'm supposed to be at.
Obviously, ShoBox is one of those platforms that springboards fighters to even greater opportunities. Is that the way you look at this? A win on Friday night, and you will be, one of those guys to be looked at in the heavyweight mix?
Well, not heavyweight. I plan on going back to cruiserweight after this,
okay.
But definitely be looking out for me. You're definitely going to see me on the way to a world title.
So take a break down cruiserweight for a minute. Lot of fighters overseas. I mean, like I said, a big win here. You think it puts you in line to fight one of the big guys overseas?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm hearing. That's the plan. So after this fight, yeah, I'm looking to go chop down some dudes from overseas and keep this thing going on the way to a world title.
Cleveland, Ohio. There's been an influx of talent from Cleveland, Ohio recently with guys like Tiger Johnson, Charles Conwell, Isaiah Steen. What's it about Cleveland now that we're getting to see so many quality fighters such as yourself?
I don't know. I guess it's a tough town here. I guess we are. It's something in the water or something. It got us. We all on that level. We all on the top of the boxing world. Like my guy, he got a page. He got a quote. Ohio runs boxing. I guess we started to make that true.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, after LeBron left and the Browns and now Guardians, I guess they're called now, they haven't had so much success. It seems that they could be brewing a couple boxing champions.
Yes, sir.
What do you
Bam Bam Green.
What do you want to say to the fans in closing before we let you go? We see you this Friday night taking on George Arias as part of ShoBox, the New Generation, live from the Turning Stone Resort. Oh, one other question. It's Hall of Fame weekend up there, and I'll imagine a lot of the Hall of Famers may be in attendance. A lot of the big namers will be in attendance. Have you thought about that? And who may be out in the crowd, and maybe putting on a show in front of some of the all-time greats.
Definitely, that's all I've been thinking about is how great I'm going to look in front of all the Hall of Famers.
What do you want to say to the fans in closing?
Just make sure y'all tune in on Friday, and don't keep your eyes peeled. Don't make sure y'all don't blink, don't walk away, because I'm known for knocking people out. So make sure y'all stay tuned. And
for all the fans. Because I'm sure after a big win, they're going to be all hitting you up on the social media. Where do they find you?
Alante Bam Bam Green on Instagram, and on Facebook, Alante Green.
There you have it. Thank you for a few minutes of your time. We wish you best of luck. We will check you out Friday night on Showtime, part of ShoBox, the New Generation. Alante Green, best of luck, and we'll talk to you along the way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. There you have it, Alante Green, who takes on George Arias this Friday night on ShoBox, a New Generation. Like we said, another fighter from Cleveland, Ohio. Friday, also on the Zone, WBA will merge their light flyweight champions as a fight card from Guadalajara, Mexico takes place. Hiroto Kayaguchi takes on Esteban Bermudez to crown one WBA light flyweight champion. Saturday night at Madison Square Garden in New York City, Edgar Berlanga will take on Romar Alexis Angulo in a super middleweight fight, again from the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden, live on ESPN. On Saturday night on the Zone, Jaime Munguia moves up to 168 pounds, I guess, for one fight. He takes on Jimmy Kelly at the Honda Center in Anaheim. Saturday afternoon, big Don King back in action, promoting the WBA Heavyweight Championship between Trevor Bryan and Daniel Dubois. Like Dubois in that fight. In fact, I'll make some predictions. Obviously, we got like Berlanga, we got like Munguia, we like Dubois on Saturday live on Fight.tv. See some of the upcoming bouts scrolling right underneath us. So that will be putting up the weekend fights on the new scroll that we got going on here. Saturday night in Atlanta, boxing will be back at the Celebrity Theater, the Center Stage Theater in Atlanta. That's the Center Stage Theater in Atlanta. BXNG TV will stream an interesting card featuring Alfredo Angulo, Peter Dobson, undefeated Avril Matthew, and also the former light heavyweight championship contender, challenger, Steve Geffrard. I talked to Geffrard earlier this week, about getting back, about taking the short notice fight against Joe Smith. So we will cue it up here, and here's my little interview with Steve Geffrard. Joining me now, man on his run right now, is the former World Light Heavyweight title challenger, Steve Geffrard, who on Saturday night takes on Alex Duran in Atlanta, Georgia, as part of Prestige Boxing Advisory Group. fight card be shown live on bxngtv.com. Steve, what's happening?
Nothing much, man. I just finished running a little bit. I'm over in Washington, D.C., finishing up camp, heading to Atlanta later this week.
So, have you always trained in Washington? I mean, I know you as a guy from Miami. Is this something new for you?
Yeah, I've come to Washington many times in the past, but I just changed it up, get away from home, distractions and stuff, from South Florida, and I came up working with Barry Hunter and Patrice Harris, who I've worked with before in the past.
So talk about this fight, kind of get back into it, take it on Alex Theron in Atlanta, Georgia. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Oh, yeah, it's good. I'm fighting a southpaw. I've been getting a lot of southpaw work up here. It's good to get back in the ring and stay busy. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Obviously, you're coming off an experience where you were called literally at the last minute to fight Joe Smith for the World Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. I'm sure it was a real whirlwind for you because everything had just happened so quick. Have you had a chance to reflect on that whole experience, taking the fight literally on a day or so notice, and you had a chance to reflect on it and everything that went on around and during that fight?
I haven't watched the fight over yet, but it was a pretty crazy situation. I definitely wasn't expecting anything like that, but at the same time too, it was an opportunity of a lifetime. It got my name out there. I mean, even though I didn't win, but it definitely was an opportunity of a lifetime, and I'm glad I took it. Because for so many, a great portion of my boxing career, I've just been inactive or just kind of go under the radar. So, this will help me. If I didn't take this fight, I wouldn't, be boxing on this card that I have coming up now. Meeting the people like Jeff Torres and stuff.
What have you felt that your profile has grown since then? Obviously, you hung around in that fight. A lot of people, probably didn't expect that. I know you went in there expecting the win. But you'd be getting a lot of, especially in the days and hours after that fight, you hung in there for a while, and you probably got a lot of good feedback from the boxing world.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I definitely did. Obviously, Joe Smith, he was training for his first world title defense, which is, something huge. I could only imagine how hard he was training and preparing for, I think it was Colin Smith, which was going to be a tough fight for him as well. And so I know he was 100% prepared. Me on the other hand, I definitely wasn't preparing for a bout like that. And I was very inactive beforehand. But what did I have to lose? I was literally just sitting on the shelf, and it was a good opportunity. I definitely got a lot of good feedback after the fight, and
You mentioned your inactiveness. Has the phone kind of been ringing a little bit more for you to get back in there, and then this opportunity to take your spine the decision to the thought process to get back in there in Atlanta on Saturday night?
Yeah, the phone definitely has been ringing and stuff, but now I know just to stay prepared, year round and stuff. You never know, especially with COVID and all that stuff that's going around. You never know when the phone's gonna ring. It definitely was a good look for me. I mean, I didn't get the result that I was looking for, but it was definitely a great look for me. And now I kind of got the ball rolling. Now it's just up to me to just be prepared. Shows like this is not a massive show, but just staying busy and active. These are the type of fights that will have me prepared for those big fights when the phone does ring again for another major opportunity.
It's actually a very interesting show. Obviously now you are a pretty decent name in the boxing industry. Alfredo Angulo's on the card. Some undefeated fighters like Peter Dobson, Patrick Harris, Avril Matthew on the card. So it's actually a pretty eclectic kind of card. There's a little bit of everything on the card, including a former world champion and a former world title challenger in yourself. Last question I have for you about Joe Smith per se. Obviously, I'm sure you look around. He'll be fighting on the 18th against Beterbiev. But what are your thoughts on that fight?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be Joe Smith. He's a tough competitor. I was actually looking forward to watching his fight versus Colin Smith when I got the call for it. But Beterbiev, who I've been to camp with, I've helped him prepare for a whole fight and stuff.
So
Absolutely.
you have a great perspective on this fight. You've been in the
Yeah,
ring with
yeah.
both of them.
Yeah, no, Beterbiev, he's a devastating puncher. I mean, I've fought, over 150 times in the amateurs all over the world, and been a lot of camps with top world champions and stuff like Kovalev and stuff. And Beterbiev, he just hits like no other, And I think he takes the win possibly by KO, but you can't count Joe Smith out. He's been coming in, upsetting guys, knocking some guys out. So it's going to be an interesting fight. It's two guys that are going to meet each other in the center of the ring. That's both of their styles, both very aggressive styles. So it's going to be interesting. I'll definitely be there to watch in New York.
What like you said, the phone's been ringing a little bit more since the fight with Smith. Tell us, what your prospects are. I mean, I know you're not looking past Iran on Saturday night, but what's a perfect next 6-9 months, maybe a year? How does that look like for Steve Geffrard in a perfect world?
Yeah, I've been working with Jeff Torres, who I've met, and John Beninati, and they're going to be looking to keep me busy. They have a few fights already lined up for me in the next few months. So, we're going to get through these. They're not going to be like the caliber of fights like I just had with Joe Smith and stuff, but they're going to be, good fights, step it up each time, keep me busy every other month until we get a call for a big fight. But, I think the main thing is just staying busy and, taking it one step at a time. But yeah, staying busy. I think a lot of fighters, we don't have the luxury of being active. We don't have the luxury of being active. Yeah. A lot of us fighters, we don't have the luxury of being active and stuff. And working with this group, I'll be able to at least have while I'm waiting for a big call again. At least I'll be able to grab some wins and stay busy.
It's like you mentioned, you've had some bouts of inactivity. What's that like? Is it a whole different feeling? Are you a little bit more at ease knowing that you have some prospective dates lined up rather than what was going on previously, where you didn't know when the next fight was going to happen?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It definitely is. I mean, obviously, you should always enjoy training and stuff, but I'm 31 years old. You can't just wait around, and if you're not making money fighting and stuff like that, you want to, so it's nice that I have a reason to be training for a purpose and have dates to look forward to, because boxing could be really depressing at times, and a lot of letdowns in boxing, where you're supposed to fight on cards, they don't go through, or if you don't have the right management or team behind you. But, I got the right fit with my team now, and they're looking to keep me busy, keep me active. And, I'm really excited. I'm looking forward. I'm over here in Washington, D.C., working at the Headbangers with Barry Hunter, who's a very experienced trainer, and Patrice Harris, and getting loads of sparring up here, away from home, focus. And it's a great thing. I'm really excited.
What do you want to say to the fans in closing before we see you this Saturday night live at the Center Stage Theater in Atlanta, Georgia, live on bxngtv.com? What do you want to tell the fans out there? Give me a final word before we see you next weekend.
Just keep a lookout for me. You guys see what I could do on short notice. I'm going to make sure you guys, I don't get caught lacking anymore. I'll be training year round, and just keep a lookout for me. You'll be hearing from me soon.
We thank you for a few minutes of time. Where do the fans find you on the social media?
It's just my first and last name, Steve Geffrard, on Instagram, Twitter. So,
and I'm guilty of this too. A lot of people are calling you Geffrard. So it's Geffrard with the J sounding.
Whatever you want. It's all good to me.
Well,
all good to me.
Just don't call you late for the ring on Saturday night. So there you have it. Steve, thank you for a few minutes of your time. Finish finish up your run. If you run by the you run by the White House. We'll wave the president for us, and we will see. Sure. We'll see you on Saturday night. Thank you very much.
See you. Bye.
Thank you. There you have it, Steve Geffrard. Real quickly, couple news and notes. The Jamal Charlo Mason Shalechi fight was postponed due to a back injury to Jamal Charlo. Derek Chisora will take on Kubrat Pulev. That will take place on July 9th in London, England. Mick Conlon will be back in the ring, take on Miguel Mariaga. That will take place on August 6th in Belfast. And Ryan Garcia will take on Javier Fortuna. That will take place July 16th at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. I want to thank Steve Geffrard, and I want to thank Alante Green for joining us this week. Tune into Abrams Boxing on YouTube. We'll have 5 or 6 great more interviews coming in the next few days. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.